Hey everyone, we're back. It's episode 26 of the Metal Gear Solid 4 playthrough. And, yeah, we're finished in Eastern Europe. So we're back on the plane. We should be getting the mission briefing here. And it's a nice one because it takes us back to a familiar locale from previous settings, but we'll get to that when we get to it. It's interesting that these briefing sections are part of the game proper, you know? Because the other... two at the beginning of the tanker and the big shell had their little mini briefing sections, as well as many tutorial parts from the colonel as appropriate, like to introduce actions to Ryan that you might not have did in the tanker. And then 3 had similar things with CQC from the boss to begin operate the Virtuous mission. Then Snake Eater had a little bit in it at the start of that mission, as far as introducing people again and telling you everything you need to know about plants and animals and whatnot. It's very in-depth. The game's fucking amazing. But 1's briefings weren't really included. In fact, like, if you don't press start, it plays kind of bits of the opening to the game where it's like, this is your mission. You have to save the world from terrorists, you know? Like, I think it's one of those, like, if if Metal Gear Solid was loaded at the game store and people just didn't play it, it would play that intro to kind of catch your eye, you know? But none of them... This is the first one where it's specified as a briefing and yet played part of the mission. And what is going on with this camera shot, by the way? Like, I get it. Naomi, fan service, legs. God damn it. You're trying to save the world. Why are you trying to get an upskirt shot of Naomi? What is wrong with you, dude? I can't hear them talk about JD without thinking of John Dorian from Scrubs, by the way. Almost like you should have made your little robot a little bit tinier, because it really wasn't out of the way there.
Thought it had been destroyed, but Liquid was able to use it as cover to slip inside the system. GW. I'd heard that name before. GW was one of the Patriot Cell AIs. It was installed on Arsenal gear. MS Worm should have put it permanently out of commission. But Liquid somehow recovered and repaired it.
Why are we back on this screen? Why isn't... My neighbor just came home. She's upstairs. She's a very nice woman.
It's a blind spot.
Lucked out again with neighbors.
Office lost while it was still tied in. Using it let Liquid interfere with the AI from the inside.
The move with Lennon's getting closer and closer to happening, by the by. It's just... I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with a bunch of stuff. Like the stuff I don't take with me, and especially like my utilities and it's going to be like, all right, I'm done. Cancel service, I guess, if we don't transfer it. Press X past me. There you go. So I'm not going to lie to you, very much like other playthroughs of other Metal Gear games, when if I had to like hit the bathroom or cook or something, that's what happened during long ass cutscene moments.
It's only a matter of time before we find it.
Poor face burnt and everything. Like, they do just as much as they can to beat up this poor man throughout this whole game.
Rex being ready. Rex. You mean Shadow Moses?
Shadow Moses.
It's Campbell.
The U.S. military systems are all in Liquid's hands now. The regional systems have all been shut down. Guns are falling silent across the earth.
I love Steak Bentley's video, bringing that up again, but he's pointed out like just how sad Campbell sounds. Like guns are falling silent, and it's the first total like ceasefire in human history. Like he sounds so bummed out that there's no more war anymore, which could be a very subtle take on writing for him to begin with.
It's tough to play down a crisis of these proportions.
Like Campbell kind of says in the first game, like, hey, you retired after Zanzibar Land 2. Why are you back? He's like, oh, I'm an old war horse, Snake. You know, I don't belong anywhere but the battlefield. So
Better sleep soundly while she's
he certainly enjoys being involved in conflicts. At least it seems that way.
The first thing he'll do is try to destroy the system the Patriots built to control the U.S.
He's already taken this.
This is where, in my opinion, starting with the landing in at Shadow Moses, like then the futility of nostalgia, kind of the game is sort of very subliminally trying to push on the player. In my opinion, is where it really shines. Like there's a moment where he comes across the same surveillance camera and it plays Snake's line from Metal Gear 1, like, a surveillance camera? But, like, it's all rotted and, like, it falls off the wall, like, clearly not working anymore. And it's like, oh, this is what this game is about. This is about decay and death.
They can be shut down remotely in case of an emergency.
All the old nukes were pulled out of service when they deployed the replacements.
Like, it's not fun. It's not fun to play as old Snake and to see him slow down. And, like, during the gameplay, I mean, it was showed off earlier, like, especially in the segment before Octopus. Like, where you're traversing this, you know, entrenched militaristic area with one side fighting another, and, like, the whole time Snake's like, I'm doing it physically now, like hitting his back to like prevent spasms and stuff. Like, that's not fun to watch. So they did a really good job making me feel uncomfortable playing a Snake, which is kind of what they've been getting at since Metal Gear Solid 2, where it's like the brilliance of that whole game, the postmodernist of it, in my opinion, appeal is just like the game is going out of its way to show the Snake avatar that they're trying to set up to be the next Solid Snake for them, and Raiden, like the Patriots themselves trying to use him as if he were Snake is a futile effort, and Raiden at the end is like, I can be my own person. So, because he does have his own awesome background and storyline, in my opinion. I never hated that character. I don't get why everyone had to dislike, but I didn't play Metal Gear Solid 1 before I played 2 either. I knew the story of the game slightly. I knew it was a really good game that I should have played, but I just never got a chance to. Until after. But like the fact that Raiden is put in, and a lot of people are like, oh, they took Snake at his absolute peak, which was him during the tanker mission, because you're playing as Snake and you're having a good mission as him and everything, and he's basically operating with just him and Otacon, so he doesn't have any treaties or anything that he has to follow, you know, so he's in his best, and then they take that away from you and give you Raiden. Like, this is very intentionally done and very well written, in my opinion. But that's what the series was getting at the whole time, is like, why do people want to be Snake? And then Snake himself is just like, don't try to be like me. No. He said that back in 1 too, where he's like, what does he say? The only thing, he's like, I'm not a hero. Killing is one of those things that gets easier the more you do it. And like, when Marrow's like, a snake trying to sweep me off my feet, he's like, believe me, once you meet the real me, you'll fall right back on them. Like, he has no illusions about what he is. It's just nice to see like these patterns that have always been present repeating over and over, because that means that they were written to be that way, and that's good storytelling.
It's not about winning or losing.
I don't know about that, Snake.
No, we started this. And it's our duty to finish it. Sonny.
No! Jack can't go.
Oh, she called him Jack.
He needs to rest.
Let me go, Sonny.
No. Your dialysis isn't done yet.
Snake.
Here we go. Wow, that half-hour video processed in 13 minutes. That's nutty. Yeah, that's the right video. Cool.
From now on, I'm living my life by my own.
Gotta figure out what my screenshot is gonna be for this one too. Just don't hook yourself, bro. Don't pull against it.
A proxy life. A slave to someone else's will. I'm a shadow. One that no light will shine.
I think Steak said too, like, these guys are just vamping with each other about how much their lives suck right now. It's pretty funny. There you go, Ryan. I knew you could do it.
You and I are both just pawns in the
2 p.m. 2:17 to be exact.
once this is over. We will have
I have to say, this real week off has been not really a wash. I got to do my laundry and some cleaning and all that good stuff, but the
I've got nothing to
week I was suspended with pay for the unfortunate conclusion of my time with Keystone was pretty cool, because I think that gave me one more full paycheck from them. But with Amazon, it starts right away. They've been sending me a lot of documents online to complete, which is fine, but I wonder, because Amazon is very much, I mean, everyone's an equal opportunity employer, but Amazon is one of those positions, much like the warehouse I work security at a couple years ago, where immigrant labor is like encouraged in a way where it's like, hey, yeah, if you work hard, like, we'll find a way to pay you, you know, which is kind of cool in its own way, right? But like, do those folks that don't speak English as well, are they able to buy the shoes on Zappos? Like, I wasn't even able to figure that out. Like, so I might need to go buy some WorkSafe shoes at Walmart or something. I'm just gonna wear my my work boots at first and see if that's good enough, and if so, I might just boot it up for a little while.
I have no family.
Yes, you do, ride and relax.
I have always been alone. Always. Don't leave me here.
Poor guy. It kind of sucks. I just played, like I said, I just finished Metal Gear Solid 2 yesterday, as a matter of fact, on hard difficulty to get dog tags and stuff, even though I didn't know that particular trophy was changed, which is fine. Still fun to do. But to see the ending of that, where, you know, you defeat Solidos and you're in the streets of New York and you run into Snake, and mentions getting Sonny, turned out to be the kid that Olga had that was kept by the Patriots, and finding and stopping the Patriots and all this stuff. But then he's like, you have stuff you need to do first, Jack. And he turns around and Rose is there, and they talk, and then, you know, he ends up proposing to her, and then the credits roll, basically. It kind of sucks to see all the trauma that Jack had to go through. But he does get a nice little part of the ending, so hopefully that continued. I started one of the Rising games, but I never finished it. I don't know. Like, they take place in the storyline, but I don't have a desire to play them, really.
What did Washington do with it?
The nuclear disposal facility on Shadow Moses hasn't been touched since the incident.
That was 9 years ago.
The president of Armstech and the DARPA chief were killed, and the secretary...
I remember I got that game at Best Buy when my mom and I went while I was in my early 20s as a student at SU. I think I was probably 23 or 24. It was my Galaxy S4 at the time, so that shows how far back that was. And, like, we needed to get it fixed. And I remember we were sitting there talking to the Geek Squad desk, and they were like, well, we might have one in the back, but I don't know if we can get it. And I remember I was getting so frustrated. I stood up and I was like, we pay you to do this. You're here. Like, it needs to be fixed. And then, I just got up and walked away. And I felt bad, but that's when I walked over and I bought Rising for myself during that trip. And I just never finished playing it. It's one of those, you have, right now my catalog's so backed up as it is, but you just get games for other consoles and then you never finish playing them, It happens. Just didn't take on me the way that the Metal Gear Solid games did,
Who defies heaven shall perish.
Hey, Mei Ling. Hate that they got rid of her accent. I don't know why. Hers is even less explainable than Naomi's accent being missing. It's like
Rex is a beast. Born from my
Mei Ling having a Chinese accent because she's a Chinese woman would just make sense.
Let's go.
But, okay.
Shadow Moses awaits.
To Shadow Moses. A blast from the past. It's kind of what you want, though, to see Shadow Moses rendered in all this glory.